Hey AfterBuzzers, welcome to an all-new Imposters after show here at AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we're going to be breaking down Season 1, Episode 5, titled Is a Shark Good or Bad? I don't know, it's a pretty complicated question, but we have some answers, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin!
Hello again, AfterBuzzers. Thank you so much for tuning in to this Imposters After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43. I'm joined by these two lovely ladies. Please introduce yourselves. Let us know where we can find you on Twitter.
Hi, my name is Mina. You can find me on Instagram at Mina Makes Magic.
And guys, you can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl.
And guys, of course, don't forget to follow us at AfterBuzz TV. I have the chat pulled up here, and people are loving this episode so far. And I thought it was fire, as someone in the chat said, but really good, right?
It keeps getting better and better and better and better, and this was just like the peak.
Yeah.
Where
I think the ending of this episode made me like come to life even more than I had been throughout the season. I'm like, whoa! I was literally clapping. I was like hooting and hollering. I am excited after this episode.
yeah, because all the hard work pays off now. Finally, we're getting something.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it was really great that they kind of tied in that, we can get into it later, but just like the flashback, or not flashback, the dream, because this kind of made you think, wait, like when Ezra first walked in, you're like, is this a dream? And then you're like, nope. So it just led to a bunch of excitement.
Yeah, I agree. It was awesome. It started off, I'm just going to say, I'm glad the Mr. Heller situation has been put to bed.
Yeah.
You know, I did feel bad for him at parts of the show, and in a way I wish that we would have really found out more terrible things about him. And
Is Gary good or bad? Are sharks good or bad?
I mean, they're like, oh, he's a bad person because he stole from the doctor. I'm like, but the doctor is pretty bad himself.
Yeah,
So
people are more complex than just good or bad, you know?
And it's just interesting to see how Maddie, at the end of the last episode, we saw Maddie see Sally and try to save her and be like, get out of here.
Yeah.
And, you know, this time around, I keep wanting to call him Gary.
Max.
I keep wanting to call him Gary Frank. Max doesn't really know what happens, but he knows what happened.
Yeah.
Because he knows Sally. And they try to cover for her, and Lenny Cohen is there, you know, basically saying she broke the rules, pretty sure what happened. She's exactly correct in her hypothesis of what went down.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think about Lenny Cohen to begin with? And there was this really weird beginning scene, she was cornering a child in an alley.
Yeah, not cornering.
Not sure what that's about.
For whatever reason. Why is the kid in the alley in the first place? He's like, oh, my dad said I could go and patrol the alleyway. Like,
Yeah.
Great parenting, buddy.
Well,
great parenting.
I'm like, are we trying to humanize her to begin with? So because she doesn't like go off on this kid, and she lets him go.
She treats him like an adult, though. He's a child, and she treats him when she basically says, "Is a shark good or bad?" Because he asks her, "Are you a good guy or a bad guy?" She's like, "I'm not a guy," and she goes on to say, "Maybe I'm not good or bad. I just am." Which I thought was very interesting because it reminds me of that one quote, like, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. One of those Shakespearean quotes.
Yeah, it was very Shakespearean.
Because it's very true. It's how you judge something. I mean, there are some things that a lot of people pretty much agree on, but
well,
there's so
murder
many
is
shades of gray.
supposed to be one of
But
them.
even with murder, even with murder, there's shades of gray. Like, was it self-defense? What was the motive behind the murder?
But I feel like in this, I understand that, but this scenario in particular with this whole doctor situation, these people clearly are, that he's like trying to attack her in somewhat way of maybe some of them are criminals. Obviously, Richie, Ezra, and Jules are not criminals, so I'm still trying to figure out the two. But if for some reason Gary was a criminal, like, why not just call the cops on him, be like, he's stifling money, bye. You don't have to go about being, like, aggressive or, like, threatening people. You can just simply call someone out on their bluff, basically. And then, in this case, it was like, no, let's torture him even more, depending on, like, what the actual connection between him and the doctor is.
I think it was personal, which is part of the reason why I think that they think that the worst punishment for somebody is to make them fall in love. Not only steal all their money, but steal their heart with it. Like, that is almost the ultimate punishment if it's a personal, like, vendetta you have against somebody.
Right.
But then that kind of goes to like our whole Patrick situation where he has nothing to do with it. He just clearly has a lot of money, so they're using him for his money.
Yeah.
So then that kind of takes away my thought of what I just said about this whole doctor doing things against people that did something bad for them. So it's still, I mean, I'm still up in the air with figuring out. I mean, it is kind of who's good, who's bad. But right now, the doctor looks pretty bad in my eyes.
I want to know who he or she is.
Did we ever see am I imagining that we saw a glimpse of the doctor?
I thought
he
we
was
saw
some,
a
like,
guy,
bald
'cause
guy.
I thought we did too, and he was like looking up X-rays or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I guess they just dropped
We
that
saw
in.
his profile.
And greatest of these is love in the chat says they are all bad at this point, which is
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Because now,
Not all bad. They all have character flaws.
Well, you
well,
know,
they're stealing from people, and
it's funny because the ones that we'll get into them in a little bit. The ones that are actually stealing, just like pickpocketing, just the amateur
Petty
style.
theft.
Yeah, it's amateur hour for them. Like, they're still doing some pretty bad stuff.
well, yeah, it's like that. Like, what is it? Where it's like not do unto others as you would like others to do unto you, but there's another saying where it's like basically like two negatives don't equal like, or no, that's right. I don't
but
know.
like they do.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
That one. Two wrongs don't make a right. So, and that's
Exactly.
kind of what they're doing is like they're just feeling like they can do all these wrong things in order to.
An eye for an eye makes the world blind.
Yeah, but that's not the case.
What is this? It's just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, we're
just
putting
coming
out all
with-
these puns.
Yeah. Well, but on that other note, there's Max and Sally. So we saw the scene when Max finds Sally, and I'm thinking she's playing him. He's
I thought
playing her.
he was playing her, but then I was like, no, he really is in love. And then I was like, no, I was right. My gut instinct was correct with that.
You guys were totally spot on. You guys called it a couple episodes ago. I, however, when I saw that, I was like, I knew it. They were in love at one point.
They were
I
in
didn't-
love.
No, I know, but like
Yeah.
that was my first reaction. Like I didn't like peg them to be scamming each other at first, but then when you guys started bringing it up, I was like, you're right. They're totally scamming each other because then I started reading into it.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, in all honesty, I think if it went the way Sally wanted it to go, she had another plan herself
Definitely.
to lose him.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think that we will probably end up finding that out.
Yeah, I think she wanted to use him to get out of the vicinity of the doctor, and then was just gonna kind of be like, "I'm not actually in love with you, bye." But for the time being, she was gonna play it off and then take the money. Probably like wake up one morning, she would be gone, and he'd be like, "Where'd she go?"
300,000 isn't even that much money.
Well,
to be fair,
I mean, I kind of felt the same way. It's a lot of money, don't get me wrong, with the cons that they have done in the entirety of their career. They're literally putting it all on the line for $300,000
Yeah,
cash underneath this guy's floor.
she's making it seem like this is my one way out. This 300K is gonna fix everything. That's not. How are you gonna start a new life? I mean, it's a good start, but it just seemed like a lot to put your life on the line for and to risk everything for that 300,000. It was like a desperate move. It's not a lot of money. She could have easily given that money and then tried to escape so that they have less reason to go after her.
She's made some errors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think for me though, the money it is a lot if you think of it in terms of like a salary, what an average person makes in a
3
year.
years.
It is that is a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and she could easily use it to her advantage with like finding a new identity, running away, hiding herself, like and then getting another job and sustaining that money. She'd still have a pretty penny saved away. So I think that like that would have been a good kickoff for her, considering at this point I think the only thing she saw was escaping now with extra money or being killed by the doctor. There was not really, I don't think she felt like she had a fallback plan.
Right.
Because even if she did give the money and escape, then where would she be? She would have nothing.
Right.
Well, here's the reason why I don't think it's a lot of money. I think that's definitely a good amount of money to run away with if you're just trying to quit the game. But it made me feel as though we learned this episode, the reason they were doing this to Gary Heller was because of maybe a personal vendetta, but also there's $300,000 that he took from the doctor. So it's just like, did they just get them to do all of this so the doctor could get his $300,000
It doesn't make
back?
sense. I think he laundered way more than that. Maybe the rest were wired into different accounts. And because what's he going to do? He's going to keep more than $300,000 stashed away? You think?
I mean, is there more? Like,
I feel like there has to be more. There's no way that he would only have 300,000. I feel like, what if he has Swiss banks? Or like,
probably.
you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of just confused about the whole thing because even Sally and Max, when they were talking about that was a flashback, right? When they tripped the man.
Oh no!
Oh,
I didn't.
yeah, it was because he was thinking about it, and then he went and gave her a kiss while she was on the boat. So he was
Oh.
thinking about it. Are you staying at this hotel? Blah blah blah. Let's buy you drinks. That was a flashback.
Well, okay, so this kind of, I think, ties into Gary Heller because I was wondering, she saw the man in the mirror and we got a very, like rushed glimpse of who this man could be.
The doctor?
No,
Or
of, like, when they were scamming that couple.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
And so it was a really rushed glimpse, but then I was like, I guess it wouldn't have been Gary, but I was just trying to see if, like, maybe that's where the ties came from. Because in terms of this was the start with the doctor, like, that was kind of where it all started. It just kind of was all confusing to me. Like, all right, so...
But that's not when they met. You mean the flashback? The flashback?
The flashback was when I think they met the doctor. Like, that was their first year term with the doctor. That was my understanding.
I thought it was like they were new to the game. They already knew the doctor, and that was their first assignment, which is why they were tripping people. That was their first target. That's what my understanding was.
Let us know what you guys think, because it seems like we all, and I do wish they could make it more clear, like, this is a flashback, this is a dream, like, this is real life, because we're not exactly sure.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Maddie and Patrick.
Yes.
I love them.
Saffron, oh god, I just wish she would give that thing up.
Yeah, it's hard because he clearly knows something's going on and he's willing to wait it out and to hear, like, the truth because he's so in love with her. I don't really think they're scamming each other at this point. I don't think that he's scamming, because I think we had touched on that in previous episodes. I think it's real love, and in Saffron, Maddie is now finally like, I'm over being like a figment of someone's imagination in love. Like, I'm ready to fall in love myself. Like, she's totally over this game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess we'll talk about it in predictions, but I just want to know what's going to happen with Maddie and Patrick so badly.
I know.
I love them.
It's one of those things, too. It's good storytelling when you go, oh, damn it, like, I don't want to see this happen. I know it's going to happen. It's going to be such a shit show, and it is just going to be heartbreaking to watch, but it's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I did say from the beginning that, like, I thought Maddie was scamming Patrick, that, like, he was a new con for her. But, because I thought it was just so, what's the word?
Like,
it's
random?
like a cute meet in a movie when they met. It almost seemed like it was set up.
Yeah, okay. I could see that because it was kind of awkwardly forced, but I think that was the only way for them to introduce this character without making it like, let me run into you and drop my bag and you pick it up and we meet it for, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it was the only way they could really introduce somebody.
I have a question for both of you guys. So when she met Patrick originally, and now her new assignment is to con Patrick, do you think the doctor knew of Patrick before?
That's what I'm
saying. Or do you think that he found out about Patrick because of Maddie's interest in him? Like, is there a connection there from before where you think this has been a target all along? Or is it just a new target because of their developed relationship?
With both your guys' thoughts, it is opening my mind to think that maybe the doctor did kind of know where Saffron's brain would be. Obviously, she wouldn't be interested in Gary Heller, but she would be interested into this hot man, Patrick. You know what I mean? So maybe it was his way of, like, manipulating her into it. But on my first initial reaction, without, like, thinking about your guys' thoughts, I totally thought it was like, their own thing going on. I didn't think the doctor had anything to do with it. But I mean, I do agree with both. Like, that's a smart way to put it. I could see that happening.
Because I feel like they're always a step ahead of her. Like, as smart and talented and insanely great she is, Maddie. I feel like the doctor and Lenny and even Max is ahead of her in a lot of ways. Like, she's good at what she does. But because she's not behind the scenes, there's so much that she's blind to. Like, the fact that she didn't even know the 3 people that she had conned in the past, Ezra and Richie, would, catch up to her, and Jules would catch up to her. That's enough to know that she doesn't necessarily cover her tracks.
Yeah, and I feel like she doesn't think that she needs to for some reason, and she is very smart, but doesn't look behind her back necessarily.
Yeah, always forward, never back, remember?
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's kind of a fault of hers. But with the Patrick thing, I'm kind of feel like the real answer is kind of in the middle of what both me and you are saying, Mina. It's that, you know, they did maybe plant him a little bit, and then once the Gary Heller thing happened, they were like, oh, a perfect opportunity is right here.
Because she couldn't do both at the same time, obviously.
Yeah, and but maybe the doctor is just this big puppet master, which he is essentially, and perhaps he wanted Sally to kill him. He wanted Sally to find the money, and for him, Mr. Heller,
have the money
to
back.
attack Sally, and then he wanted, I mean, this is probably making the show way smarter than it is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, but that would kind of make context of what's happening.
Yeah, like that would
Because
make,
remember Lenny's law? I forgot the name of the law, but the simplest answer is the correct answer. It's it's a well-known law. So when you like overcomplicate it, maybe it's giving too much credit to the doctor.
But I watch so much TV, and I mean, if a show has been on for seasons, they'll backtrack and pull this, you know? They'll say, well, we knew that they would do this and they would do that.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it's not so extraordinary to think that they knew that all this was going to go down the way it is. And I'll save a lot of this for predictions, but I don't think that Max is going to be sticking around for a lot longer.
What do you mean by that?
He's going to die.
No, I know, but like suicide, or he's gonna be killed?
No, he's gonna be killed, and maybe it's not by the doctor, but I think it is, you know, it is suicide. Because I don't think he feels good about what he did to Sally.
Maybe he'll sacrifice himself for his daughter.
I don't think
Maddie.
so.
He seems really selfish, though.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if he regretted doing something selfish with Sally, maybe he wants to redeem himself and come back again, you know?
I don't know. It just kind of all leads me to, they were talking so much about, this is the life we chose. And I'm like, but why? What were they all in their lives doing when it made them come to this decision of, we're going to become con artists for this doctor? But like...
I mean, we know that Maddie, it seems, did not have a good reason. She had
she was in French club. She was in
nice
high school with a sweet family, and she was
such a sweet family.
probably lonely and wanted some excitement.
Her dad had health issues, sure, that's sad. He has dementia, but otherwise...
Maybe that's why she always wants to be a different person. She wants to forget who she is.
But I mean, honestly, I just think that is so ridiculous. If you come from a nice family that loves you, and a parent has dementia, and it's sad, or Alzheimer's, or whatever, like...
Why are you leaving them to
We still don't know. Maybe it was a money issue. Maybe it was the only way she could provide for her father's condition.
Yeah, I had mentioned that last time, too. I do agree with that, but at the same time... She clearly, like, I don't know why she wouldn't have thought that this would all catch up to her now, and now she's like... oh, I don't want to do this any longer, like, I want to fall in love, which, yeah, you should want to fall in love, and I mean, seems like a gorgeous, like, amazing person, Maddie, from what we kind of know. She seems awesome, so it's just kind of crazy that whatever the situation that was brought upon these actions is really intriguing to figure out, like, why, what, how, like, how did you get here?
Right.
Because she clearly still, has feelings. So she has a heart. I think we talked about this. We were like...
And this goes back to both of you guys, because both of you guys, from the very beginning, were saying, what if Maddie still has feelings for Ezra? And I'm thinking, that's ridiculous. But, yeah, she still has a soft spot for him. The fact that she still wears the anklet and she knows the story that he said about it is kind of ridiculous. But the story behind it is that it means you're a wanderer, and she's a wanderer, and she never took it off. And then finally, when Patrick takes it off, it's almost like saying, you're not going to be a wanderer anymore. You're going to be mine. It's time for you to move on.
Mine.
Yeah, but in a romantic way, not in like a possessive, crazy, you know.
No, I get that. But would you guys think you could confidently say, out of the three, Jules, Ezra, and Richie, that Maddie is still possibly has the most feelings for Ezra left?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. But at the same time, maybe there's something with Jules. Who knows?
No, I think it would be.
So?
If anything, I think it would be definitely Ezra.
I think Ezra. Yeah.
I think if anything, from seeing certain flashbacks and just kind of like the relationships so far, like just seeing Patrick in comparison to Ezra, like in their natural kind of vulnerable state of opening up to them. Obviously, we didn't see too much of Richie and Jules in the past, but I feel like they were kind of more fun projects rather than Ezra and Patrick, where it's like actual love.
Investment. And the one difference between the two of them versus Ezra is that Ezra's the only one that got the explanation video. Because remember, he asked them, so she almost feels so guilty and remorseful and probably did have feelings that's why she left the video.
And I mean, you know, the show, the trailer is all about Ezra.
Yeah.
If you watch the trailer for the first few episodes and, you know, the posters and stuff on IMDb, on the streets, it's of Ezra and her, like holding hands. So I think that it might somehow come back around full circle. And I don't really know, because when Patrick was saying to her, like, you can tell me anything, I
love that she didn't lie.
Right, she didn't lie, but she didn't tell the truth.
Yeah, and she told him that. She's like, I can't tell you because I don't want to lie to you, and I'm not ready to tell you the truth. So it's almost like she knows that she's going to set things right this time with Patrick and not con him.
Yeah.
So it's going to be
Or
crazy
if
to see
anything,
what happens.
her and Patrick are going to go in on this together, and maybe they'll backfire and con the doctor.
Right. I mean, I don't know. The thing is, I was thinking, is Patrick, we don't know that much about Patrick still.
Yeah.
He could be hiding a lot more than we think, and might possibly be on board with this.
What do you mean?
Like
Like it's a test?
Well, if Maddie tells him the truth and is like, yo, my name is not Saffron, and I have conned all these other people, and they want me to con you, but I love you, and here's my past, here's everything laid out on the table, what do you think? A normal person would say, get out, I'm calling the police, but I feel like a combination of his feelings for her and something to do with his past, that he might not do everything so kosher either. Like, that he would be, okay, maybe.
Yeah.
And I think maybe I
You want that to happen.
want that to happen because we really like him.
Yeah, no, I definitely like his character, and I feel as if right now we're kind of more invested into this relationship, obviously, because we've seen more. But if Ezra were to come back, like you guys were saying, would there be a possibility for us to, like, flip-flop and be like, okay, we're more invested into this Ezra and Maddie possibility?
I'm never going to be invested in Ezra and Maddie just because I think Ezra is so sweet, but I still don't see him as a good match for Maddie the way I do see Patrick as someone who could... He's a little... I don't know. He has a different type of energy, a more dominant energy that's calming and stable.
Could he be like all three of them combined, except not a girl, because that's Jules. But maybe he's like the three of them combined. I don't know.
like her perfect match.
Yeah, but speaking of the three of them, I want to make sure we get in to, like, what are we calling them? I want to call them a squad name or something. Jules, Ezra, and Richie. You know, I don't know.
Reg.
It's just like...
Jules, Ezra, Richie.
Those are like the Tres Amigos. Tres Amigos.
Yeah, we'll brainstorm on this one. The Tres Amigos.
I just said that, like, literally, but, like, not even, like, I just, like, Tres Amigos. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. That didn't even sound right.
Well,
know,
it
I'm
could
trying
even
to
be, like, you know,
combine
it's
them.
like the Mod Squad, Suicide Squad, not the
No,
Suicide
it's
Squad,
not the
but...
Fantastic Four. But
Yeah, it's something
Three.
like that, but we have to figure this out. Anyways,
Yes.
we get to see a lot of fun that the three of them are having together. The three of them, meaning Jules, Richie, and Ezra. The whole mall montage was fantastic. Big fan of that. Like,
I love mall montages in any movie. It's like it can never go wrong.
yeah, exactly. It's like, get in the car, we're going shopping.
It reminds me of like Life Size with Tyra Banks. And
Yes,
how she has the whole
or
try-on
like
outfit.
Mean Girls,
Yes.
or
Everything.
So many things.
the hot chick, like we've spoken
Oh.
about. That is like a great mall montage.
Yes, it is amazing, and it was a lot of fun, and we see them being able to work well together, and they're all kind of surprised by this, I think. And they're kind of, I'm not saying that there's like a romantic thing going on between the three of them, but like they're a squad.
Yeah, no,
They-
they definitely all like complement each other's personalities. I think that they have a great vibe going on. Their
Exactly.
chemistry is undeniable.
It is. Speaking of undeniable chemistry, we saw the dream sequence, which I think was half a flashback. It was like a flashback that
Turned into a
Jules
nightmare.
was dreaming, and then it changed because both Richie and Ezra slid their way into her dream. But I
Yes.
think that is how she and
What she
Maddie
looked
met.
like. Yeah.
Cece or whatever.
Which I was totally shocked. I was not expecting that to be what she looked like as, like,
A
Jules'
lesbian?
lover. Yeah, it was just very edgy from what I was expecting it to be. I guess I thought she maybe, I don't know. That's
Yeah,
not.
I didn't.
I was just very, and at first I was
imagine it at all.
confused.
But do you think Alice? Oh, we've seen what Alice looks like. Never mind.
Yeah,
she has
she's-
like the medium length hair.
yeah,
very
it reminds me
cookie-cutter.
of like Orphan Black. I don't know if you guys
Stepford
have
vibes.
seen that, but Allison from Orphan Black, that's what it reminds me of. That's one about clones, and it's like she kind of is a clone, but just herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that the flashback was kind of almost at first I thought it was. I didn't know. No, I thought it was a flashback. Didn't know it was a dream. So I'm like putting this together. Probably you're right. It was a flashback that was a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just
Did I
shows
just confuse myself?
how talented the actress that plays Maddie, as well as Maddie as a character, how
Yeah.
talented she is at what she does.
Inbar Lavi. I don't know how to say
Inbar
her,
Lavi,
her
yeah.
first name. Is it Inbar?
Inbar, yeah.
It's an Israeli name. So I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
So, I mean, it was cool. I really appreciated that layer that they added here because we got to see how the other two men fell in love with her. We didn't
Yeah.
get to see anything about Jules.
Yeah,
So I thought that was a lot of fun.
it was definitely fun.
And, you know, of course, we have Ezra, Jules, and Richie. After she has this dream, they get together and she's like, we need a code. Which they do.
Yeah,
And when the question is asked, because we talked about this, you know, what do they think they're going to do when they find her?
yeah.
What are they going to do? Kiss her? Kill her? Both? You know,
Exactly.
it's this weird thing. So she is the one, Jules, that decided we need to no sex, like no nothing.
Yeah.
And she asks each of them like, what would you do? And Richie's response was amazing. Like it was very honest. Just like, yeah, maybe I would.
Yeah.
I'd consider it, maybe. Yeah.
So I'm glad that they kind of played that out
Yeah.
because
Because we're all asking the same questions. What are you going to do? And they talked about it, which is great.
and it's like we've all said, and the chat has been saying that this episode things really finally came together.
Yes.
I do honestly wish it would have happened maybe episode 3,
Uh-huh.
and because there's 10 episodes, and like I feel like the ball is really rolling now.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Like, I cannot wait till the next episode because there's only, like, there's so much that can happen and so many more answers that we're going to get, so it just leads us up for the excitement.
Yeah. And that amazing scene in the end when
Oh my gosh.
Maddie is in the diner. And then she hears someone speak to her in French, and I'm like, oh, that's Ezra. It's
Yeah.
Ezra. It's Ezra. Turns around, it's Ezra. OMG. Oh, wait, nope. There's Richie. He's coming right in. Hey, Alice. Then Jules comes in, and her face is epic.
It's so epic. And it's just crazy because at first, like I had mentioned before, I thought maybe it was a dream or a flashback for Ezra. And then as soon as they all started like filing into the booth, I thought, yes, it's happening. I was seriously, like I said, clapping. It was amazing. I think also, too, that play for them to just go in like that was perfect. Because I couldn't have pictured it any other way for it to kind of go down.
At once, it would be too much.
Yeah, but
Like
it just, she had time to process.
She had, yeah, he just hooks her in, or else that would be so overwhelming in a different way.
And it
So.
was time. It was Ezra was the last one to go. Richie was the second to last.
No, it was Ezra's first.
No, I mean Ezra was the first.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, so I mean last is most recently.
Oh, okay.
So it went by how long it's been, and then of course
Right.
the cherry on top of the sundae was Jules.
Yes.
Because she'd been missing for like a year, I think.
Yeah.
From Jules.
She probably thought she would never see her again.
And so I mean, okay, we're guessing that Maddie is what, 27, maybe.
I guess that would sound about right.
And she couldn't have been doing this she's been doing this less than a decade, I'm assuming,
Yeah.
but doing it for a long time, and I'm sure she has a list of men and women
that she's
that she's done this to. How is this the first time
that this has happened.
Yeah.
That is true.
I'm glad it is,
Yeah.
and she's clearly never dealt with this before.
No.
Yeah, this is new to her.
Yeah.
The drama's just gonna start unfolding, and
Yeah.
I cannot wait for it to.
Poor Patrick.
Yeah, he's got a lot he's gonna have to take care of.
She can't be that good in bed, you know? It's like, just saying,
She
guys.
just wants to sit in silence. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, that was weird. Yeah, no thank you. On that note, let's get into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Alrighty, who's going first?
Looking at me?
I mean, I can go first. So I think, well, in the previews we did see that Maddie tries to convince the trio that, you know, they have to kind of stay off her case or else she'll die. And my inkling is that there's going to be a discrepancy between what the three of them want, because Ezra is going to feel so guilty and he's not going to want anything bad to happen to her. And I feel like the other two, who are more headstrong, are probably going to be like, Ezra, are you freaking kidding me? Like, we've gone through all this trouble, all this time, all this effort for this moment, and you want to let her go? You want her to be okay? So we already saw the previews of them at the party, and it was kind of teasing that Jules was going to reveal Saffron's true identity. I don't think that's going to happen now. I think that there's going to be something else where Patrick, because he's going to be at the birthday party, is going to see the weird dynamic between her and the three other people, that he's going to feel something's off. Because I feel like if any of us were, like, if you guys have any exes and or like if you have like a current boyfriend or whatever, and they see one of their exes and you don't know who their exes are, I feel like you could tell, you know, you could easily tell if this person was with, you could, because you know, like it's very apparent. And I think that's gonna happen with Patrick, and there's gonna be a point where Patrick just can't take the BS anymore, and he's gonna kind of crack and probably temporarily leave her, which is going to cause issues because that's her new assignment. So the doctor is definitely not going to be happy with Maddie. Who else are we worried about right now? Lenny and...
Do you think that Sally's alive?
I do.
Yeah,
that was actually
she
my
is.
prediction. I was thinking that she's alive. I think that maybe they're going to use her as bait for Maddie or something. Something else to happen. I don't think they're going to kill her because she probably...
They have the money. Why would they kill her?
Well, no, I think that there's something that they could probably use her for now, because it's like you can't go anywhere. So I don't think they're going to kill her. I think that if anything, Max, maybe they'll. I don't know what's going to happen to Max, honestly.
Do you genuinely
care.
think?
Yeah, I don't.
This is the thing. Do you genuinely think that if Maddie does the assignment, that she and Max will truly be free? Because
Well, they're not going to be free. They're going to still work for him. But he's just saying
remember,
for this.
he said that this is our way out. If you do this assignment, the doctor has agreed to let them out or something.
Wait, no, he said if you do this, you're gonna live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He basically I think he was basically saying like you're gonna live and you're not gonna die. Because if you get through this assignment, you can continue working for the doctor. But if you don't get through this assignment,
it in a different way, like this is our way out if you do the assignment.
No, I didn't see it.
I misunderstood it then.
I mean, possibly, but I do think that it kind of sucks. It's like, what do I get out of this?
Yeah.
Nothing. You get your life.
yeah, and that's kind of I think what the doctor wants from them. So I think that I guess my long-term predictions, I'll have two. Sally's gonna be alive, and Patrick and Saffron are gonna she's gonna tell him the truth like we talked about, and they're gonna find some sort of ploy to maybe get back at the doctor, depending on what that is.
So there's a couple interesting thoughts from the chat. Winnie Paul said, I think the trio will be added to a JV crew by the doctor, and that's how the season will end.
What do you mean a JV crew?
Like, it's like, okay, fine, I see you've done some work. I will either kill you or take you under my wing. Like, I think the trio is getting themselves in a lot hotter of water than they thought.
That's a good one.
Really
Yeah,
good.
I think that they want revenge, but really they
See, I thought Lenny Cohen was going after them.
I think they're going into a lion's den, which Maddie is going to tell them next episode. Sorry, guys, but you gotta go because we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Crazy.
That's
And-
a really good. That's a really good way if they come in for her to get out.
Yeah, and so I really I don't hope that any of them turn on each other. I want it to be kind of like a weird love for each other, you know, okay, we have respect and we're gonna stick together, and like maybe they'll help Maddie get out of this. And I do think it will be Ezra that kind of leads the way to make that choice, but I think the other two will follow. On that note, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys were so much fun this week in the live chat. We will see you next week, but where can we find everyone on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Ally Nasta and on Instagram at Ally Girl. And if you're interested in any other AfterBuzz TV shows, you can tune in on Thursdays at 11 p.m. to watch Sun Records.
And you can find me at Mina Makes Magic on Instagram, and you can tune in to Girls on Sunday nights.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at samdavidsonentertainment.com, Twitter and Instagram at samd43, and check out Riverdale here on Thursdays at 10 p.m. We'll see you next week. Bye.
See ya.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.